Today's Motivational Monday I've entitled Let's Party. Okay. You would hardly call me a party animal. No, unlike Hui Swan or maybe Patrick Young, in the old days, these are what who you identify as party animals, but I'm not really a party animal. Let me share my slides. Okay. So okay. So as I said I'm not really a party animal, but last week I actually have been to 8 parties. So let me tell you, list list the 8 parties. Okay. So number one was last Saturday on the 27th of April. It was Chong's 60th birthday. Some of you were there. Very exclusive party because of the things he was going to do. Then on the Sunday, there was this Racha 3 SUP Afterglow party. Then on May Day, we decided to create a party by reliving memories. We used to gather every end of the month, at Old Airport Road. So some of us were there. And then the next day, SUP, Wheeling had a surprise birthday. Okay. And then what happened? Okay, on Friday, which is Thursday, Friday, Huison and I went for a walk. But even on that walk, it's a 2.5 hour hike in Venus Drive, McRitchie area. We stopped to have a picnic during the hike. The sixth party was Isaac's first year birthday party. This is just some. It was just for family. Here's Isaac with his birthday present. A, a washing basket turned upside down. He uses as his motor vehicle. And then in the evening we had a leaders gathering. Okay, and then which was the theme was mothers. And then following Sunday, some of us, the mountain tourists, we gave a surprise birthday party for Po Huat. Okay. So that's 8 parties in a few days. So how did it happen? Okay, how did it happen? Was it a waste of time? What is the cost? What is the value of doing all these things? These questions came up as I reflected on this subject of parties. When I go back and I say, hey, what have I been doing? I've been going to so many parties. So I started reflecting. But let me, at the outset, okay, acknowledge that there is a price or a cost, which is why people avoid parties or gatherings. Okay, now you go to one or two, you're very selective. But generally, I'm finding that people are more reluctant. We have difficulty getting people to come to gatherings or parties. So there must be a price of course. So what are the prices to pay when to turn up at a party? First of all, of course, the obvious thing is money. Okay, there's a cost of the present. There's a cost of traveling. Sometimes you have to take a Grab, which is to a long distance. That is the cost. What if you have to travel to another country? Okay, there's a cost perhaps of accommodation if you are traveling to another country. There's a cost of the clothes you have to wear, or the costume that we require to wear when you come to leaders gathering. Okay, then there's the opportunity cost. You're away from your family, okay, your beloved family that you already spent 30 days with. You can't spend 2 hours at a party, but there is a cost for some of us. Okay. Especially if you're looking after people. There's the opportunity cost of work. There's the time spent. You got to spend time getting a gift. Okay, you got to spend time getting the clothes together. You got to spend time cooking food if you're contributing. And then there's the health issue. When you go to a party, you eat, you drink, you put on weight. And for those of us who are trying to keep trim, it's really a struggle because parties are where there's a lot of food. But let's focus on the why. What do parties do for the participants? I feel that there is a change of and a change of state, okay, because of the energy present. Most people there, they want to party, that's why they're there. So there's a different energy. And then there are these activities that you take part in, they bring you to a higher state. You practice stepping out of your comfort zone, especially, if you're coming to a place where you don't know people. So I admire the people who come to a leaders gathering and they don't know anyone there, someone has invited them, because they're coming into a rather strange environment. Okay, so you practice stepping out of your comfort zone. You learn to give. Okay, you learn to ignore irritations, because there's sure to be bound to be some irritating people there. Okay, you achieve balance because you're now exposed to different views, people who are focusing on different things in their lives as you share. So you get a bit of balance. You get to acknowledge and celebrate the achievements and the milestones of other people. Okay. For example, okay, I have this annoying messenger that keeps coming up. Okay, for example, Hock Seng's eldest daughter at the leaders gathering was sharing on being a first-time mother, and she reminded us that many years back, she was a little toddler running around, our very home at leaders gathering. Wow. Okay, so let me. I got a slide on that. Okay. Okay. So I say it takes a village to raise a child. Okay. So it's Angie sharing about, part of being a mama, which is mentoring her daughter, and there, she's got a whole family around, her father, sister, her husband, and then of course her little daughter. Okay, and I want you to watch this. Okay, okay. So did you see this little girl here? Let me play for you again. Okay. Okay, so sorry, I had to play that twice because some of you may be focused on Chong instead of this little girl here. So you look at Arya enthusiastically participating, and she's only 1.5 years old. So I say, yeah, it takes a village to raise a child, but I say it takes a party to raise a child. Okay. Now imagine Arya and Isaac 20 years later, they'll be 21 years old. Young adults influenced by this village who raised them. Now, who's part of the village? Everyone who chose up, okay, who chose to turn up for the monthly party would have been part of that, what I call that soup that nourished the mind, the body, and the spirit of these children. So you are a contribution. And this same soup, of which you are part of, would also encourage and empower other adults present. You just don't know the difference you make to another's life. So let me just summarize, what a party stands for. Okay. First of all, the first P. Okay. I present myself as a gift. Okay. I present myself as a gift. I turn up. I show up. I come to encourage the host. I come to add value. I come to increase the energy there. Okay, so I'm the gift. I present myself as a gift. Second thing is to acknowledge the star, the subject of the party. So if it's Chong's birthday party, we acknowledge him. Yesterday, we came to, for me, my 8th party was celebrating the belated birthday of Po Huat. And honestly, when you've got fatigue, you go on auto, you just go there to eat or just to show up. But no, I told Hui Xuan we have to say something. Okay. And so Hui Xuan spontaneously, impromptu, acknowledged him, said some good things about him. Okay. So how do we acknowledge the star? Actually, you don't have to give a speech, simply just through your presence by turning up, but also by what you say, by your conversations with other people down there. And of course, your cheers, your enthusiasm. Okay. R is relax. Okay. So go to the party just to relax from the stresses of life. Okay. So if you are so stressed that you can't go to a party and celebrate, you are too stressed, you got to turn up and relax, be entertained, be fed, go there, and laugh. T is take from those present. Okay, so you go there to give, but you go there also to take. Okay, you go there to learn from people. You go there to network. So at our leaders gathering, you had Alex, Huiswan's mother's physio. He was learning. He was absorbed. He's 30 years old. He wants to learn about life, and so he's learning from these us. Jefferson is there. He's networking. And the rest of us, we just go there to be inspired by the people there. And certainly, Huiswan was inspiring. Chong was inspiring. And then the last Y is yes. Practice saying yes when invited to parties. Remember the success mantra? Okay, success equals to intention plus action plus grace. And when you say yes, it signals your intention, and it's an action that will invoke God's grace to have you be part of a community that will be the environment that later, keeps you alive. You go there to keep people alive, it will be the environment that keeps you alive. So I mentioned children and adults growing from the soup that is served at parties. You are invited to be a vital ingredient of that soup. You are actually part of someone's recipe for survival and success. Okay. Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs, from certainty to variety to significance to love and connection to growth and ultimately to contribution, the highest need. So I asked the question, do you want to be in contribution? Do you want to be a giver? Or do you only want to be in consumption, in the taker mood? So if you want to be in contribution, and have fun doing it, let's party. Okay, so that's my little reflection on the on parties. I hope that's useful to you. Tomorrow's Tuesday tips will be by Alfred, on a very, very relevant topic. So have a great week. We know we've got brand rep meeting this evening, and then Alfred is sharing on TRME. Okay, so bye everyone.